Hello, my name is Dr. Kara Gardner. I'm the Senior Scholarships Manager with the Community Foundation for Greater Atlanta, and I'm also the primary liaison for the Jim Kennedy Scholarship Program. And so today I'm going to do a walkthrough of the 2026-2027 Jim Kennedy Scholarship application, and I hope that this walkthrough will be helpful to applicants, parents, guardians, anyone that is here to support applicants. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start by talking a little bit about the deadline. So the deadline this year, well, next year actually, is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So your application must be submitted and your recommendation appraisal must also be submitted by the deadline. And please note that we are in the Eastern time zone. The Jim Kennedy program is a national program. So if you live outside of the Eastern Standard Time Zone, make sure that you adjust so that you don't miss the deadline. As soon as 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time hits, the application is going to shut down and you won't be able to submit it after that point. Eligibility requirements. So the Jim Kennedy Scholarship is for high school seniors who are the natural, adopted, or dependent children of an individual who has been an active full-time Cox employee for at least the last 3 consecutive years as of the deadline, January 20th, 2026. So if you are unsure of your length of service, you should be able to look up your hire date and work day and do the math from there. Applicants must also basically be college bound, so accepted for enrollment into an accredited college, university, or technical school. Applicants must have at least a 2.50 or higher cumulative grade point average. They must plan to be enrolled full-time and maintain that status. If you're in the United States, your Cox employed parent or guardian must be a contributor included on your FAFSA submission summary. And when we get to the application itself, there's a video that talks about what that means. And of course, no other family members can be Kennedy Scholars for the current academic year. So it's 1 Kennedy Scholar per family for the academic year. All right, so account creation. So in order to be able to actually see the Jim Kennedy Scholarship application, you're going to need to create an account in our scholarship portal. And so a link to the portal is on our website. So you'll be able to go to the website and see the link to the portal there. Cox also usually sends out a link to the portal as well to all active employees. And so parents, guardians, please, please, please allow your student to create their own login account. And we'll go over a little bit more about that in just a second. All right, so when you go to our portal, this is what you'll be greeted with. So you'll see just kind of some basic things here to keep in mind, but you're going to click on create new account. And that's going to, of course, bring up all of the demographic information that we need in order for you to create your account. So again, parents, guardians, please let your student create their own account. If you must create the account on behalf of your student, you need to make sure you're using the student's information. So when we need the student's first name, student's last name, and the student's email address. For the alternate email address, that can be the parent's email address. I would recommend using your personal email address as opposed to your Cox email address in this section. And then, of course, we need phone number, mailing address, and we need the student's date of birth here. So you'll enter in the password and then hit submit and your account will be created. All right, once your account is created and you're logged into the portal, you're probably not going to see very much, but click apply at the top of the screen. And what that's going to do, that's going to open up all of the scholarship opportunities that we have available. So make sure that you are applying for the Jim Kennedy Scholarship and not something else in our system, because we'll have a lot of scholarship applications open at the same time. Of course, you're welcome to apply, you know, for any other scholarships that we have available that you meet the criteria for. But if you plan to apply for Jim Kennedy, you need to specifically apply for that scholarship. So it is mid-November that I'm doing this walkthrough. So the application will not open until December the 1st. So right now I have the application password protected just for the purposes of this walkthrough. But once the application opens, you'll be able to actually see the application itself. You won't have to enter any sort of password to get to it. So you'll see the application, and it is going to show you all basic information, things we've already, you know, talked about, deadline, all that kind of stuff is here. You can preview the application if you would like. So that preview is basically just going to give you question lists. So if it's a situation you're not quite ready to apply just yet, you just want to, you know, kind of see what you're getting yourself into, you can preview. But we're going to go ahead and hit apply. And again, up here, you're going to see your information will be up here as the student. So again, that's why it's very, very important that students create their own login account. And parents, if you must create the login account, that you're using your students' information, because we want to make sure that it's the same information of the applicant. So I'm going to answer a question here to get us started. And I'm going to jump around just a little bit because I want to highlight the things that are most important for you to do first. So first things first, you can always save your application. If you get started and you're like, hey, I just don't have time right now, you can save your application and come back to it later. But the first thing I'm going to start with here is the FAFSA submission summary, which I'm trying to see, where is it? Oh, here we go. So I'm highlighting this first because it can take some time to get your FAFSA submission summary back. So the FAFSA has been open since the start of October. So you can go ahead and do your FAFSA for 2026, 2027 right now. And it usually takes you anywhere from 3 to 4 days to get that FAFSA submission summary back. So I say go ahead and do this first, because you don't want to wait until the deadline and then your FAFSA submission summary, and you haven't done your FAFSA back yet, and you don't get your submission summary back until after the deadline. So go ahead and do your FAFSA first. And once you get that submission summary back, you can download it to your computer as a PDF file. What you're going to do is you're going to upload that file here. And then whatever your student aid index is that is listed on your FAFSA submission summary, you're going to type that number in to this box right here. So keep in mind, your FAFSA submission summary should be at least 10 pages long. If it's 1 page, that is not the right document. So it should be at least 10 pages long. It needs to have your name on it. And it also needs to have the Cox employed parent needs to be a contributor on that FAFSA submission summary. We should be able to see that parent's name on that submission summary. Next thing I'm going to highlight is your recommendation appraisal. So your recommendation appraisal is a requirement. It comes from either a high school counselor, advisor, teacher, employer, somebody who knows you well. It should not be your family member doing your appraisal for you. And you're going to need your appraisal's email address. So what you're going to do, we have like a sample email here that you can use to reach out to your prospective recommender. So you're going to enter that person's email address in here, compose email, and then you'll type up whatever message you want. Or again, you can use the sample message requesting your recommendation appraisal. So keep in mind, your recommendation appraisal needs to be done within our system. Please do not email us letters of recommendation. So this appraisal is not a letter of recommendation. It's actually like a survey. And it should take your recommender no more than 10 minutes to complete it. But it needs to be done, again, within our system. Also, there are some high school districts that will block this email from coming through. So you may want to ask your recommender to put our email account, it's like grants interface, put it on their safe senders list. And in some cases, you may have to ask your recommender for like a personal, like a Gmail account or something like that, so that that request actually goes through to them. So please don't try to email it to yourself and then forward it to your recommender. That's not, the system doesn't work that way, and that's not going to work. It has to go directly to your recommender in order for them to get the link to fill out the appraisal. Also, you're not going to be able to see the details of your recommendation, but you will be able to see that the recommendation has been completed. So once your recommendation is completed, please do not go back into your application and put in another email address in this section. That is going to wipe out completely your original recommendation appraisal. So unless that's what you want, if you ask your English teacher to do a recommendation appraisal for you and he does that recommendation for you, and then you're like, you know what, maybe I should get another one. We don't need two, we just need one. If you put another email address in here, it is going to completely delete that original one. Okay, and so, and I wanted to highlight that first, those first two sections as well. The recommendation appraisal, you want to try to give your recommender as much time as possible to provide you with a recommendation. So that's why I say go ahead and get that section done first, so you can make sure that you have plenty of time to get that recommendation in. And if the person doesn't come through for you for some reason, you still have time to reach out and request a second one if you need to. All right, so going back to the rest of the application, applicant information, that's very self-explanatory. High school information, again, self-explanatory. The only thing that we ask is that you please spell out the name of the high school that you attend and don't use abbreviations. And we need city, state, and your high school graduation date here. GPA, we are looking for your cumulative unweighted high school grade point average that is listed on your most recent transcript. So our preference is to have your grades from the first semester of senior year of high school. Now, every high school and every district is different, and we understand that. So if you are not going to have that information before the deadline, that's okay. Give us what you have. But your transcript should indicate that you are in grade 12, and it should be updated at least through the spring term of your junior year. So please don't give us a transcript from your freshman year or your sophomore year. We need something updated. We need the most recent that you have available. So what you're going to do is you're going to upload a copy of your high school transcript here. It can be official, it can be unofficial, but it has to have your name on it. It has to have a breakdown of all the classes that you've taken and completed, and it must contain a cumulative grade point average. Those are required in order for us to be able to evaluate that document. So you're going to upload your transcript, and whatever is listed as your unweighted cumulative GPA is going to go in this box right here. You can also upload a copy of a college or dual enrollment transcript if you are currently taking college classes as part of your high school curriculum. You are welcome to share that transcript with us. The same rules apply. It can be unofficial, it can be official, but it's got to have your name on it. It's got to have a semester by semester breakdown of all the classes that you've attempted and completed and a cumulative grade point average. This college transcript is completely and totally optional. Everyone is not taking dual enrollment classes, so it's optional. Next is standardized tests, and you're going to mark whatever is applicable to you. For the purposes of this walkthrough, I'm going to say that I've taken both the ACT and the SAT. And what you're going to do is you're going to put in your composite ACT score. No super scoring results, please. We want your best composite score from your best test. So whatever your best composite score is, that's what you're going to put here. And it should match what is on your document upload. So we need an upload of your ACT scores. Those scores need to contain your name, at least your first name, in order for it to be valid. So make sure that you get a set of test scores that has your name on it and has your single best test. Upload the scores, and then of course right here, put whatever your best composite ACT score is from your single best test here in this box. Same thing for SAT scores. Again, no super scoring. We want your best SAT composite, your best SAT math, and evidence-based reading and writing, all from one test, not from multiple tests. And then same thing applies here. We're going to do an upload of your SAT scores. Make sure that that upload contains your name. And again, whatever you upload should match the numbers that you put into this box. Okay, next thing you're going to do is you're going to tell us about your post-secondary school plans. So what do you intend to major in college, whatever that is? And then you're going to give us your first choice college or university. So if you had to make a college decision today, where are you planning to go? Please, again, do not use abbreviations. Spell out the name of the college or university so that we know what your intentions are. We're not trying to guess. You're going to give us the state where your first choice college is located. Tell us about what type of institution it is, where you're at in the application process, and where you think you're going to live when you attend this college or university, if you're going to be on campus, off campus, etc. Then there's room here for you to give us a second choice college or university. So if you're on the fence and you want to tell us about another institution, you have space to do that here. The next part is a part that you're going to need help with from the Cox employed parent or guardian. So we need the Cox employee's information, first name, last name, phone number, their Cox email address. That is essential. And then you can also give us personal email address, employee ID, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, date of hire is very important. The relationship to the applicant is very important, as well as this other information. All right, so we've already talked about financial aid information, activities. You're going to mark whatever is appropriate for you here. You can either fill out this table and tell us about your extracurriculars, community service, honors, awards, and employment. You can talk about it here. Or if you already have like a resume or an activities log that you want to upload, you can just upload the file here. It is very helpful for the committee to have this information. So they're going to want to know name of the activity, a brief description about it, how long you participated in it, and if you had any sort of leadership in that activity or organization that want to know about it. So the more detail you provide to the committee, the better it's going to be. All right, the last part here that we're going to talk about is the academic and career goals and aspirations essay. So we recommend that you have at least around 500 words, somewhere in that range. It should be a standard, kind of 5-paragraph essay. You really want to put a lot of thought and detail in your essay here. This committee, the Jim Kennedy Scholarship Committee, they read every single essay. So make sure you put lots of thought into what you're going to say. Use spell check, use Grammarly, have somebody read over your essay to make sure that, it's grammatically correct, the spelling is correct, all of that type of thing. And last tip I would say too is that however you type something into this application is how it's going to show up on the other side to the committee. So if you use all lowercase or all uppercase, the committee is going to see everything in all lowercase and all uppercase. So I would highly recommend that when you register for your account and also as you're filling out the application itself, that you do so in the same manner that you would for an English paper that you use, upper and lowercase letters. You type the way that you would for a school project versus using all uppercase or all lowercase. Finally, when you have completed your application, you're going to finish this last part here and make sure that you do your final review, read over everything, check all of your document uploads, make sure that they are correct and that they contain the correct information. You're going to type in your name here and the date, and then you're going to hit submit application. Again, it is very, very important that you submit your application when you are finished. If you don't submit your application, you haven't actually applied for the scholarship. And we don't know what your intentions are if you don't actually apply for the scholarship. That concludes our walkthrough. Thank you so much for participating in this. Let us know if you have questions. You can email us at scholarships@cfgreateratlanta.org. We wish you well, we wish you good luck, and we hope that you have a great rest of your senior year.